Saltwater Tube Reef. Saltwater Aquarium Care with Steve Rotter.
Alright guys, we're not going to take calls tonight. We're just going to focus on the chat room. So, this will be a 20-minute show. I missed you guys. I've been really busy, so sorry about no show last week. Here's the deal. If there's going to be a show, you'll be alerted in the news feed. Alright? So I'm not going to take calls today. Just going to kind of talk to you guys about lighting. And we're going to see what scrolls by. This will be a 20-minute show. I say that all the time, but it's really going to be this time. I've got a band coming in the studio, so I don't have the standard 2 hours that we normally have. Alright, so how's everybody doing? We have people piling in. William, what's up, Bay Area Reef, Southern Reefer? It's too early for the West Coast. What? It's 7:15. Look, maybe we'll go back to 10 o'clock. You know, I don't know. It's just something I'm trying out because it's, you know, I get up at 4:45 in the morning, Monday through Friday. By the time Friday hits, I'm wiped, dead. So I thought 9 p.m. would be better. Maybe we'll go back to 10. I don't know. Anyway, I got about 20 minutes tonight. Yes! Southern Reefer, 20 minutes. Sorry. I got a band coming in here. It was either 20 minutes or nothing. That's kind of what she said. What's up, Bay Area Reefs? Okay, you guys, so let's talk about lighting. My corals haven't been doing the best. I've got that Orbit Marine LED light. LED is fine to use. It really is. You just have to make sure that you have the right amount of light. And a lot of the LEDs and even regular lights, they're only going to be good for about 24 inches of depth, right? So corals on the sand aren't going to do as well. You're going to want to place those guys higher up. My Duncan corals have not been doing too good. I placed them on top of the rocks. I should glue them because one of them keeps falling. That way it's about like a foot and a half away from the light, which is great. My LED lights rest right on top of the glass. So these are about a foot and a half. So they're being hit. Now they're opening up. They're looking really pretty good. What do they say about, is it 2 watts per gallon? That's how much lighting you should have. A lot of people recommend 3 watts per gallon, but be careful you don't bleach your corals out. So, you know what? Here's what I was thinking. Let's say you've got like LED light strips, right? And they're set for like 1 watt per gallon, which is too little. That's great for fish, not enough for coral. So let's say you've got 1 watt of light per gallon. And it extends like 2 feet, right? What a lot of people do is they'll buy a second lighting strip, but same make and model. And they'll put it right next to it on top of the tank. Well, that's great, but by adding a second light, you're not adding more power. That light still is only reaching down 24 inches max. You want to get those coral within a foot to a foot and a half for the best penetration. And of course, if you've got like phosphates in your water and your water's not clear, it's going to be more difficult for that light to penetrate through, right? So ideally, I'd probably want to get a stronger light. Now, there's LED strips, which work great. I've been thinking about the T5 lighting, but I don't want to my ceiling is pretty high, so I'm not going to hang any ballasts from the ceiling. I'm looking for a T5 light that's not expensive and that can sit on top of the glass. Why do I have glass on top of my aquarium? I don't want the fish to jump out, and they will jump out. I just can't go to work comfortably thinking my fish are going to jump out. Let's see. Chicago Reform can lend you one if you pay for a membership. Lend me one what? Alright. Okay. Let's look at some of these. You guys, what? You're not really... Okay, let's see. Bay Areas. I got 4 kids. This is my party time. Yeah, I know. Switch to something better. Go through par. I need 100 subscribers. Reefing with Billy Phillips. You need 100 subscribers already. I need 100 subscribers already. I hear you, man. You know what? The 100 mark is tough to hit, but once you hit it, more subscribers will be coming in. And I know that. Look, I never thought I'd have 1,000. There's no way. There's no way. Well, I got 1,000, and then once you hit 1,000, it goes faster, and then it'll be fine. So 100 is an awesome milestone. Doesn't seem like a lot. Where I'm at right now, it's nothing compared to a lot of those channels out there. You'll get there, man. The problem is you have to put a lot of content up regularly. So it's a lot of filming, a lot of editing, a lot of time. If you got kids and family, it's rough, man. That's why a lot of YouTube channels don't make money. That's why it takes a long time to make money. And that's why a lot of people quit. It's kind of sucks. What do you guys use to do your vids? Like what? Cameras and stuff? I use my iPhone 6. I also use a Canon XA10. It's a semi-pro camera. I sold my pro cameras. I'm a film major, so I've been editing for like 25 years. I was editing when they just had VHS machines. Remember those? What kind of LED lights do you have? I've got Orbit Marine, and I really like them, but I'm thinking about going T5. I don't want anything that's going to be crazy on the electric bill, but I want something for better light. My lights, the Orbit Marines are great, but you know what? They could be better. I was thinking about adding a second Orbit Marine. I took the JBJ 45 light. I bought the Phoenix, F-I-N-N-E-X. I took the Phoenix light LED off my JBJ 45, which I tore down, and I'm selling it, and I put that on the left side of my tank. It's only 2 feet long. I'm thinking about getting another Phoenix for like 60 bucks and putting it on the right side of the tank. So I'll have my Orbit Marine 4 feet long, a Phoenix of 2 feet long, and another Phoenix of 2 feet long for each side. There's no timers with those. It's just a simple on-off switch. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just get like a standing T5. But I'm not going to spend crazy money on T5s. You seen some of the prices on these damn lights? I know you get what you pay for. Guess what? I'd rather buy another guitar. Bay Area Reefs, I know this show is not about it, but how do I control the ammonia in my quarantine? Okay, depending how many fish you have in there, you're going to definitely have to do a water change every other day of 50%. Even with just like 5 little baby clownfish in a 45-gallon quarantine is an example. You think, oh, there's not going to be much urine. Guess what? You go from pure, nice salt water to ammonia toxified water in about 10 hours with those little guys. So you're going to have to do a 50% water change every other day, probably every day, to get it down. Get yourself an ammonia badge by Seachem. They're awesome. And if you don't want to do water changes every other day and go through the hassle and time and pain and money of salt and making your own RODI water, what you need to do is take a sponge or some kind of mechanical filtration that's been in your display tank for at least a month. That's got all the bacteria on it, right? Put it in your quarantine tank. Just throw it in there. Just let it float in there, let it sink to the bottom, whatever you want to do. You can, of course, never again use that sponge that was in your display tank because it's going to have copper in it. Who cares? Sponges are cheap. Throw it in there. That's got all the bacteria. It will cycle your tank instantly and it will devour that ammonia. I do that and then I only have to do a water change. Like, I was doing it like once every week and a half on the quarantine. That's what you got to do. Yeah, man. The Kessel AP700s. Those Kessels, that's what I want. But they're like pricey, you know? Hey Troy, what's up, man? Those Kessels are expensive. I was looking at the Kessels. I do want the Kessels. For 125 gallon tank, 6 feet long, I'd probably need 3 Kessels. That's going to be pricey. Man, I don't know. I'm looking on Craigslist to get like a T5 for cheap. T5 lighting, a ballast with like 2 bulbs in it, a white and a blue. No more than 4 bulbs, like 2 whites and 2 blues. Hey Troy, what's up? Let's see. Sbrief SB Reef Lights, William says. Yeah, Rick, you know what? I found a T5 unit on, I don't know the brand, but it was on Craigslist for like 75 bucks. The bulbs aren't too expensive from Bulk Reef Supply. Southern Reefer, I follow CJ's School of Video Production and he uses his iPhone. It really does an amazing job. It really does. Getting back to that really quick, I didn't want to turn this into another... I'll do a show on that. That'll be next week's show. We'll talk video production and how to film and stuff. So I use my iPhone. I use my Canon XA10. I sold my 3 Pro video cameras. I'm doing video production pretty much just for myself, not for clients as much, so I got rid of those. For editing, I use iMovie on the iPhone. That's what CJ uses. It works great. I use iMovie on the MacBook Pro, but here in the studio, I'm using Final Cut Pro 10. A lot of people say Final Cut Pro X. I've used Adobe Premiere. It works good since I'm an all Mac shop now and have been for 6 years, 7 years. It's all Final Cut Pro. It's killer. It's insane. That's what I recommend. And I've used everything in PC. Believe me, I've been editing for 25 years. Get some black box light. You can get 2 for 100. You can get 2 for 120, for 160, and they do fine. Black box light, is that what it's called? Black box light. T5. How are those T5s on electricity? Hey Matt, what's up, man? 165 watts. See, I've got the Orbit Marine. It's rated at like, I think 45 watts, and the Phoenix is rated for like 30 watts. It's not too much. Troy, OT, what are you using for audio? Pro Tools, Cubase, Logic? Is that for me? That question? Okay, so in the recording studio, I used Pro Tools for like 10 years, and I liked it, but I always hated it. It's just too messed up to try and use, you know? It's the industry standard, whatever. You know what I'm using now, and it's like, alright, I'll say it, fucking insane, is Logic Pro. Most of the studios are using Logic Pro. I'm here to tell you that's the way to go. If you got a Mac, Logic Pro. You guys, I'm telling you, I've recorded a lot of albums with Pro Tools, and the mixes I spent twice as much time or 3 times as much time as I did with Logic Pro. Logic Pro out of the box is insane. The plugins you get, the amount of effects you get, blows Pro Tools away. If you said, I'll give you Pro Tools for free, I wouldn't take it. If you said, I'll give you money for using Pro Tools, I wouldn't take it. I hate Pro Tools. Hate it. Reefing with Billy Pipes. Screw the electric bill, dude. I got some insane stories on the electric bill company. They're screwing me hardcore. Anyway, look, I've used Pro Tools for 10 or 11 years, and I always fought with it. It was a pain in the ass. It was like this clunky tank rambling through the forest. Logic Pro is like a fucking well-tuned sports car, man. Like a jet cockpit. You just sit in it and you just go. It's insane. This vocalist I worked with, he's friends to Lady Gaga's manager. That guy is in Hollywood, and he's a really cool guy, and he told me that, you know, all the studios out there are using Logic Pro, and this is after I started using Logic Pro. Anyway, I use Logic Pro. It's way cheaper. You don't have to upgrade the interface and all that crap. That's what I do. Pro Tools is fine, but Logic Pro is better. Francisco. Been in the hobby since February. From day one, I've been having micro bubbles coming in my tank. I tried many things and I still have them. Thanks in advance. Micro bubbles, you know what I did to get rid of those? Actually, in my aquarium, I'm not using any... I got a video coming out. I'm going to show you guys what's in my sump and everything. I'm not using any foam blocks. I'm not using any mechanical filtration. I'm not using anything. Foam blocks right before the last chamber where your return pumps are. A foam block should be taken out and rinsed, even under tap water, every 3 days. Unless you have a lot of metal in your water, then you don't want to do it, but my water is really good, so I do that. Who cares about killing bacteria? Mechanical filtration shouldn't be used to house your bacteria. Your glass and your live sand and your live rock and your sump, all that good stuff should be used to house your bacteria. I don't recommend bio balls. Forget it. They're nitrate traps. So what I do is, you know, on your sump you've got like that marker that says water line. Well, I always fill my water like 6 inches higher than that to make sure that those return pumps are fully submerged under the water and no micro bubbles at all. Baffles in your sump? I do not. I don't have any baffles in my sump. And in fact, the second sump that I added is a 20-gallon aquarium that I got from Petco for their $1 per gallon sale. That comes around every so often, so I got that tank for 20 bucks. No baffles in it. It's just completely filled with water, a few inches from the top, so it's more like a 15-gallon. And I got my return pump in there with the refugium. And I've got like a thin mesh wall in one of my videos, you can see it, separating the Chiedo refugium from my pump, so it doesn't get in there. No baffles, nothing. When deciding on a light, what do you need to take into consideration instead of watts per gallon? Look at the manufacturer's specs. It's a good question. The new school, old school gamer. I love that name, by the way. Pac-Man and Galaga and Ms. Pac-Man are the best. Moon Patrol 2, of course. Frogger, Donkey Kong. All those awesome games. Let's see. Look at the manufacturer specs, see what they recommend, like how far the lighting will travel down. A lot of them will tell you, you know, 24 inches. So if you've got like, what is it, 31 inches tall tank, it's going to be more difficult, especially if the lights are hanging up, right? Because they have to penetrate through the glass. If you got salt creep on the glass, it's got to penetrate that, penetrate through your water, and then you're pretty much screwed. So as further the light travels through stuff, the more it has to go through, and the less your corals are going to be hit. So good clean water so the light can travel through it. Don't have your lights too high up above the glass, which is why I don't hang my lights. It's best if you could have no tops on your aquarium, but then the fish will jump out, so I'll never do it. So look to see the strength of what they say the light will travel. I forget the term for that. And of course the watts per gallon. You want to have 1 for fish, 2 recommended for coral, and 3 watts per gallon is ideal for the coral. But you might have to adjust the coral in the tank depending on what kind they are, because you don't want to bleach them out or fry them. If they start losing color, that's not good because it's too much sun. Yeah, someone bring me a power meter. Someone do something. Someone get me a larger tank too, because my tanks are outgrowing the 125. These poor guys need to get into a 265, which is what I'm going to be doing. No, Ed, you're not coming on this show. That's what she said. No calls tonight. Because I got to end this show in like 5 minutes. I got the band coming in. I missed you guys, though. Let's see. I hope all your tanks are doing well. BRS is a calculator. And you can add all your equipment wattages up and get the price on what it costs a year. Oh, so you're at $650 a year. Ooh. That's not too bad. Let's see. What kind of coral you're gonna have? New school. So anyway, just to give you guys an idea of the coral that I have, I've got star polyps are my favorite. All the ones I have are my favorites. I've got star polyps, frog spawn, Duncan coral, and a hammer. All right, that's all I have. That rose bubble tip anemone died. I don't know what happened. It's just gone. William, you know what? On my JBJ45, that Phoenix light that I got for like 90 bucks, the rose bubble tip anemone was thriving underneath that LED. Granted, it was like 6 inches beneath the water line, and the LED was just another inch above that glass, but it was thriving. It was big. Again, it was like 6 inches away from the top of the water. That's why. Oh yeah, the Kessel is enough. In fact, that's a good question. I saw a 160 watt Kessel, one of them on that size gallon cube, I believe on Bulk Reef Supply, or no, YouTube somewhere, and it was awesome. Anyone know when captive? I did, Matt or Billy. I got your email. Anyone know when captive bred blue tings are going to be released? I don't know. Scott from Mile High Reefers may know that though. So that's really it. What I'm going to do now, because I got these guys coming over, is I'm going to end this show here. And I know it's a shorter. Yeah, you're right. Reefing with Billy Pipes, more carbon used, better par. No problem. If you guys have any questions, you know, call the phone number 630-503-6017. If you want to leave a voicemail or say, hey, what's up, do so. And I'll use the voicemails on the air. I haven't done a voicemail show yet. I'm waiting to get a handful of them so we can put them back to back. If you've got a saltwater aquarium tip you want to share, you just want to say hey, if you want to plug your channel on YouTube, leave a message. Mahoney screens the calls, and Mahoney will be operating the voicemail. So that'll be on its own separate show. 630-503-6017. So 630-503-6017.
watching. Please click the subscribe button for more videos.